Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Matt McHugh. I'm one of the pastors here on our Cornerstone staff, and today we are going to be looking at James 4, 1 through 10. I'm going to be reading out of the Message translation by one of my favorite pastors, Eugene Peterson. And so this is what he summarizes in James 4. It says, "You're cheating on God if all you want is your own way, flirting with the world every chance you get. You end up enemies of God and his way. And do you suppose God doesn't care? The proverb has it that he's a fiercely jealous lover. And what he gives in love is far better than anything else you'll find." It's beautiful. And then summarizing verses 7 through 10, he begins to say, "So let God work his will in you. Say a quiet yes to God, and he'll be there in no time. Quit dabbling in sin. Purify your inner life." And today I want to talk about purifying our inner life. This chapter is kind of titled Friendship with the World. What is our relationship with that? You know, so much of our lives inside of us, we are at war, this tug of war between good and evil, making choices that reflect God and making choices that are really reflecting ourselves. And what's interesting is Psychology Today put out a study that said we make 35,000 choices each and every day. So we've got this tug of war system going on where we're choosing either good or evil, and we're faced with 35,000 choices that could either lead us to honor God every day or somewhere maybe put us in the middle where we're doing a little bit of both, honoring God and going after our selfish desires. And then I think as we're talking about chapter 4 in James, what the writer of James is talking about, he's asking a really just kind of mic drop moment question is, what is your relationship with the world? With the things that the world can offer you, you fill in the blank, whatever vice it is, whatever struggle it may be, you fill in the blank. What is your relationship with it? What does it look like? Is it something that you're constantly struggling with? Is it something that you don't like to share with anyone else? What does your relationship with the world look like? And with this Message translation, like I said, talks about purifying your inner life. I'm reading this book right now with my small group. It's called The Deeply Formed Life. It's by a pastor named Rich Villodas. And he talks about this prayer of examine. He talks about either taking a situation or your day, or maybe it's a current season of your life, and asking ourselves, what is bothering me today? What is the story I'm telling myself? What is the gospel truth that needs to replace whatever lie I'm believing or whatever way I've tried to believe what the world can offer me? What is the gospel truth, and what is the right action that I need to take? Because so much of our lives moves at this hyper speed pace that we don't take the time to stop and ask, what is all this collateral damage? Maybe what is all this grief? What is all this stress that is within me? And if we don't take the time to process that, we are going to be more enticed to become friends of this world rather than following in the way of Jesus. So what does it look like to purify your inner life? What does it look like to grow in your relationship with Christ? Well, I would offer it's a prayer of examine. It's a prayer of asking, maybe in the mornings or at night, or maybe throughout your day, even on your lunch break, with how are you doing? Maybe journaling and grabbing a pen and paper and starting to say, what are the lies I'm believing about myself? That I'm not smart, that I'm not worthy, that I don't have what it takes to make it in this field and business. Maybe the lies of comparison. Whatever it is, what would it look like then to replace those with the truth of who God is? To not befriend the world, but to befriend the God of the universe who made you, who formed you, who sees you as worthy and chosen and the beloved son or daughter. That is the truest thing about ourselves. So, as we close out our time today, What would it look like for you to purify your inner life? What would it look like to choose the God who yearns jealously for you, who wants to grow in a relationship with you, and to take a minute to take a step back to process what it is maybe you're struggling with, what it is maybe you're going through in your season of life, and to use this prayer of examine as a way to continue to grow in this fancy word called sanctification, looking more and more like Jesus. Share your thoughts, share your stories with me of what maybe this prayer of examine is doing in your life. And remember, we are memorizing a bit of scripture along with each chapter in James that we are going through. And the verse that we're going through is Proverbs 15:1. And Proverbs 15:1 says, "A gentle word turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." So our challenge is to memorize this, to look at James 4, and to use the prayer of examine as a way for us to slow down so that we can speed up to God and continue to live the way of Jesus here in Dallas. Take care, friends. We'll see you soon.